Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers in the Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group. This is my design team project for Nanine over at Collage Type for June of 2022. Now this month I'm going to be using a kit called Butterfly Love. Now I also have the add-on, and there's 3 freebies, and one of them got mixed in with the pages and I'm not sure which one it was, but the other 2 I have set aside so you can see them. And you have to be a member of the Facebook group over at Tanya's at Tatty Treasure to receive those 2 freebies. Okay, so this is the kit, and it's huge. It's just full of butterflies, or as you know, I like to call them Flutterbys. So here are some of the horizontal pages, which are going to be your writing pages and your regular pages. A lot of them can be used either way. I haven't printed on the back of any of them yet. I'm thinking about doing a book, but then again, since it's a design team project, I don't have a lot of videos to show you what I'm doing. So if we do a book, then a whole bunch of it's going to have to be done off screen. All the cutting, of course, and yeah, all that good stuff. Now I've printed this I printed it borderless, so your picture by the time you trim it and everything might be different. Okay, now these are the vertical pages, and this one is just gorgeous. Check this one out. Now you could do one of 2 things with this page. There is a light background to it, a light pattern that may not show up on the camera. However, you could also just as easily fussy cut out all these butterflies. And so here's some more of the pages. So I'm not really sure, like I said, what we're going to do, but whatever we do, unless I totally mess up, it's going to be very pretty. These are very pretty pages, and I just love this kit, and it's nice for spring. And yeah, so I'm still going. There's the rest of the vertical pages. I'm not going to show you. There's another one that's really pretty. I'm not going to show you the entire ephemera batch because there's just too many. A lot of the pages, this is actually a horizontal page, excuse me. You could use it vertically if you, in my opinion, turned it this way so you can still read the text. That's up to you, or this, I guess either way. These are the 2 of the 3 freebies that you can get. And there's one, and here's the other one. Paper clip those together. And then this is some of the ephemera, which looks like I laid down on the table upside down. And there's lots of writing cards and tags and fussy cuts. And the thing I wanted to show you, there's some beautiful frames. I'm not very good at cutting these out, but a lot of people just get out their blades and cut right through, and they look beautiful. Of course, there's Oz. Everyone say hi to Oz in the background. I was trying to get to, here's a nice big folder. I was trying to get to, here's another one. Look at that one. I was trying to get to, and a third, which is a, oh, what do you want to call it? Part of a trifold. This is part of the extras right here, I do believe. And you fold it in a couple of places and it gives you a gusset. These can be writing cards, or you could fold them in half and make booklets out of them. That was what I wanted to show you. This is like a coin envelope. Get to what I was looking for. There's tags that are the same way as those writing cards, where you can just fold them in half. Look at these tags. These are gorgeous. Well, I wasn't going to show you the... Here they are. So these tags here, you can either cut apart, or you can leave them together. And, my dog has decided to come in here and sneeze. Or you can leave them together, and when you cut them out, you can just fold them in half. So we'll probably do that with some of them, and there's quite a bit more ephemera. Let me see. If you were to just look at the ephemera, you can see how many pages there are. So there's plenty to use. There's plenty of pages. Remember, I got the add-on and the kit. Now, I think I know the add-on was a lot of these, the folders that flip, because I believe it is a, what do you call it, envelope add-on. Okay, so those are the pages, and I'm going to go ahead and stop here for now, and then I'm going to start doing the printing on the back of some of the pages that I need to print on. I'm going to cut out the ephemera, and I'm going to do the fussy cuts, and then when we come back, then we will start the project. Okay, I'll see you in just 1 second. Okay, we are back. Now, you may notice this big pile of stuff that I have in the middle. We're going to go about this one a little bit different than we normally do, which is we're going to take a look at the ephemera first. Now, this is the stencil. This is the stencil that I've chosen to use. Sorry about the reflection of the little middle ring light. Okay, it's one of my favorites. And this I wanted to show you. Let me put this away. This I wanted to show you because I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, there you go. You can see it made it iridescent. I tried, a friend of mine told me to try clear nail polish instead of glossy accents, and I did that, and I like the effect, the iridescent kind of a not raised up but shiny effect. However, the problem was the paper soaked up the nail polish like crazy, so I had to do like 3 coats, and it took a whole bunch of nail polish just to do these 3 butterflies. So I don't think I'm going to be doing that again. There may be a different type of nail polish that would work, but I'm not sure. This is one of the bonuses if you are a member of the Tatty Treasure and Friends Facebook group, which is where Nanine and Tanya show their stuff and give away their freebies. So now, of course, at Sweet Pea Papers Facebook group, that's where you can get the step-by-step tutorial that goes with this in a form of a PDF, and then you can follow along with each video, and in writing you can print it out, and that will help you out a lot. Okay, so that's that. And then I also wanted to show you the ephemera that comes with the kit. There is so much ephemera. There's all these butterflies. All these butterflies, which I have not inked. Oh, and by the way, the ink we're going to be using is weathered wood, believe it or not. I'm sure you thought I was going to say vintage photo, but no, I'm tired of vintage photo. I have tons of other colors, and I think I would rather use one of those. By now, I think my Tim Holtz haul video is going to be up, and so you'll be able to see why I'm trying to use some different colors. Now, there's all these ephemera, miscellaneous ephemera, that are probably going to be used as page decoration. There's also these little squares, half of them I've inked, half of them I haven't. These are my favorites, so, you know, I'm going to go for using those. There's also these little squares that are, I mean like elements, you know, like clusters and things. And there's also these little squares that I've inked as well. I've gone through and inked all the ephemera, just in case you're wondering. There are some tickets. There's some cards. There's some tags. Oh, there's a couple of bigger cards. Some bigger cards. And then we get to the tags. There's quite a few tags. There's this little tag and a medium tag, and this actually had a scrolly thing on the top. I'm not very good at cutting those out, and I messed it up. So I just cut the tag off at the top, and then I rounded the corners on the top and inked it that way. Everything is double-sided printed. This is coffee dyed, but it has writing lines on it that you probably can't see on camera. Some of them go horizontal, some of them go vertical. Most of them go horizontal, which means you have a lot of writing space versus just writing a little bit at a time all the way down. Of course, you can write this way as well. And then this one here opens up. Oh, maybe not. I thought it did. Okay, well, this one opens up. Oh, these two opens up like this. And this one opens up like this. And they've all been inked around inside and out. And then we've got these larger tags here. And I love these, or this one. Okay, so that's for that. Oh, and there's the little bitty guy. Paper clip those together. I paper clip my my like ephemera together so I can go right to it and for what I'm looking for, and I know exactly where it is. I don't have to go rummaging around through a giant pile of ephemera. Depends on how you work. Here's a bingo card. Now, fair warning, I may just cut this off and use the words Butterfly Love on the cover along with some other ephemera, and so I may not use the rest of the bingo card. These are writing cards that you fold in half, but I was thinking about using this on the cover like this with the words Butterfly Love and some other, maybe a couple of the butterflies on there as the cover, but I'm not sure. That's why I haven't folded these in half. But you can see right here where these double lines are, you would fold them in half, and I've printed them double-sided, and on these the writing lines do go this way so that when you fold them, you can, they're really light cream colored lines, but you could write across it this way. There's these envelopes. There's another envelope which I'm not sure we're going to use, so I didn't fold it and ink it. There's these giant manila folder type folding pieces which I haven't inked, but I did cut out, and this is cut out too, of course. Then we have these smaller envelopes, which I'm pretty sure we're going to use. And then we have this cutout window, and I've got a piece of acetate for it. It was actually one of the scraps I saved, and it just happened to be the right size. To cut out this window, I poked a hole with my scissors, and then I cut out around it. I didn't try to use a straight edge. I'm not allowed near sharps, if you remember. This is envelope. There's a couple different envelopes that we're going to be using. We're going to be using, oh, and I forgot to ink a couple. We're going to be using some of these, which are the invitation sized cream colored envelopes. Then we're going to be using one long business card and or envelope, and we're going to be folding it in half, and we're going to seal it. just so you know. Then we're going to use one of these big envelopes, and we're going to have to trim it down a little bit, and then we're going to put a piece of paper on the inside for decoration where the opening goes. Okay, so let's set this stuff aside. And I forgot to ink this. We won't need it right away. But we're going to set all... Oh, and I've also prepared the pockets as well. So let me keep this out. We're going to do this. And I will put the rest of the ephemera back in here for right now. We are going to decorate at the end. So that's probably when most of this ephemera is going to be used, except for the pockets. And then, of course, we're going to end up making some of our own pockets. Probably at least one hidden pocket, because you guys know how much I love those. And I like to put one in each book because they're fun. And so we'll move this out of the way. Get that paper clip back out that I just put away. Come here, paper clip. It's stuck in my magnetic holder. So we'll put these to the side as well. And so we are going to add the acetate to the window. I've already cut a bunch of this so that, and we don't need this right now either. We're going to put the acetate in this window, and like I said, I pre-cut everything. The acetate was a scrap piece that I had. That's why you can see the magic marker already on it. It won't show. We're gonna put it on like this. So what we're gonna do is we're going to glue around the window. I've already inked around the window on the inside, and I've inked around the outside edge. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a pocket. Okay, so we're just going to glue around. So hold the acetate in. And we might put a little extra at the top to make sure when we slide the card in and out that it doesn't catch on the acetate, which it looks like we're going to, and it looks like I went a little wide with the glue. Let's see if we can make sure that's all glued down. Get our dry wet wipe. And then you'll see there's this little flap right here of acetate that goes to the glue. So let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue. This is the top, it's the rounded end. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of glue on the acetate to make sure that things don't get stuck to it. I think this glue almost melted the acetate. Fabri-Tac has acetone in it, so maybe I should have used a different glue. Okay, so now we've got that glued in there, so we're ready to go with that. We can put that in our ephemera pile along with our pockets. We're not going to use this right now. This is going to go on a page. So now we're going to deal with this big envelope. Now, with this big envelope, we're going to use it as a flap. So what we need to do first is trim it down. I did ink it, even though I knew we were going to trim down one end, but I figured you guys didn't want to watch me ink a giant envelope. Re-inking one end of it is probably okay. So now what we're going to do is, as you remember, we don't add the envelopes and flip outs and things to the manila folder, we add them to the page or to the paper. So what we want to do is we want to get out one of our pages, our papers. Whether this is the one we use or not doesn't matter. We're just using it for size. So we're going to take the envelope and we're going to mark it for size. Right there. I really don't want to draw on here because you can stencil this instead of covering this part with paper. I've cut those little tabs off that go around, and I did that before I inked. Okay, so now we know where to cut our envelope off at. Move this stuff out of the way. These are number 10 envelopes, and these envelopes are A9 sized envelopes, which is a European sized envelope. So we're going to get our paper trimmer out. We're going to trim our envelope down. Oops, apparently we're going to score it first. Okay, we're going to trim that off. And that's going to open this end, which is fine. It's fine for our purposes. Because what we want to do is we want to put a piece of paper in that's this width and then some. We're going to go ahead and use this as a pocket. Oh, you'll have to excuse my hands. I was filling the ink on my printer and the yellow got on me, and then the magenta was leaking and I didn't realize it, so I'm magenta and proud. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this paper. I really want to get this writing and this pattern in here. So I'm going to turn it upside down, even though I am going to put it in the other way. But I'm going to measure it right up to the edge and then measure it to here. So I'm going to want it this wide and this long. Well, that's going to be silly because we're going to lose our width if we... That's not how wide we want it. We want it the width of the inside. So we're going to cut it at, let's see, that's 1.5. So let's cut it 2 inches wide, and then we'll cut it at this length. I don't know what I was thinking. I cut it 2 inches wide. I'm going to turn it around. And then we're going to cut it to the length that we marked. Okay, be sure to save this piece. This is going to come in handy. Now, this part is going to be folded under as a flap, but you still want to ink along here, and you want to ink along the whole outside. So the whole inside, along this edge, along this fold, and then all the way around. Okay? So now we're going to put this paper in here. Let's double check. I think it's going to be just a smidge long. So we're going to measure this. Yeah, that's going to be better because remember we have to glue this back together. Okay, and so then we have to glue both sides. We have to ink both sides and the one long side. Because they're going to show. Or because they're going to show, not because they're going to show. And I thought this color went really well with this kit. It goes really well with the blue. And I even liked it with the green and the cream. It looks a little more greenish when it's against the green. It looks a little more bluish when it's along the blue and the cream. So I didn't have to switch. I was going to do vintage photo and this color, but then I discovered I didn't really need to. So let's put this in. All you have to do is glue the inked side. So now you want to think about this actually. Because which way are we going to have it flip out? That's going to make a difference as to the direction of the text. So we're going to have it flip out this way towards the inside of the book or journal. So we're going to put it this way with the text right side up and the flap on the left. Come on. And it caught. Put it right up against the edge. Need just a smidge all the way around. For our borders. Then we're going to glue this back together. I'm gluing the short side instead of trying to guess on the long side how far up it goes. And so now we have a pocket and we have the paper there. So that's all we need to do to prepare that. I guess I should have double checked it. Yeah, and that's the height of our paper. Okay, so that's all we need to do for that. We can set that piece of paper aside. We can set this envelope aside. If you want to, you can put ephemera on some of the items. You know, make the clusters and stuff ahead of time, but I kind of like to see where the cluster is going to go before I make it. Okay, I'll go ahead and do this. Now we're going to make a manila folder journal. We're going to do it a little bit different. There's going to be space for you to sew a journal inside. However, we do not have enough time in this tutorial to do that, but you will have the gusset in there that, remember to lift this up, when you make yours. And just do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which I've shown in other videos. You can look at the Wizard of Oz book video. That's a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. And we want to ink here as well. The reason you want to make sure it's open when you ink it is because otherwise you'll have the marks of this. I don't know why I was thinking that. Not on this particular folder. We're going to cover this all the way so we don't need to ink any more of it. And this doesn't look dark enough. We want to make sure to ink the edges really well because our 3 cream colored envelopes are of course 3 different colors of cream. So we want to kind of make sure the edges are covered. And I'm going to ink this side just a little bit in case it shows just a little bit. Okay, so we've got all that ready to go. So let's make our book. Now I've never made one this way before. So we're going to give it a whirl and see how it goes. Alright, so now I've printed the pages out borderless. So that means they are 8.5 by 11. So in half is going to be 5.5. Now we're going to make this 11 and 1/4 inch long. And it's not going to matter what type of folder you use, I don't think, because we're going to cut it off shorter than the tab. So we want it to be 11 1/4. And then for the height, we want it to be, so 8.5. We're going to want it to be 8 3/4. Looks like we're going to have a little corner tab. Okay, now this time we're going to do it a little bit different. We're going to get out our scoring tool and put it on our trimmer. And we're going to fold it in half. Sorry about the top of my head if you see it. I'm trying to make sure the inside, the outside, and the edges are all lined up, which they're not. I don't know why I can do this off camera, but I cannot do it on camera. Now we're not going to bone folder it or anything. We're just going to fold it Then we're going to make a 3/8 inch gusset on either side. So we're going to go from this center point, we're going to go over 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to pretend like this is the edge of the paper, and then we got 1, 2, 3/8. So put that at 3/8. It really looks too big. Let's do it on the scoreboard. I think we'll do an 1/8 on each side. I'm going to, because I can't see it very well, I'm going to mark the center with a little pencil line very lightly. So don't want to be able to see it when we're done. Okay, so then we're going to go 1/8 on this side. You're going to press fairly hard. You want to have the score line go through both. Okay, hold on. Okay, so now we're going to do it 1/8 of an inch on the other side. Of course, I went too fast. Darn it. Like things crash banging around me. Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit different. I saw Tanya at Tatty Treasure do it this way. So I'm going to give it a whirl. Never done it this way before, like I said. So what we're going to do is we are going to do like we do with an extra page, where we cut in, only we're going to do it on both sides, and we're going to go up to the edges of our gusset. Okay? So maybe we should fold these. Of course. Let's fold it on the side I drew them on. It's much easier. Flip it around and fold it on the other one. I always have a hard time with these small ones, and on the manila folder it's going to be a little tough. I'm going to make sure that it's correct. Now that I've got the gusset in there, I'm going to fold it back this way so they're both facing inwards. Let me use the bone folder on it. Fold this one back again. Okay, so now when you close it, it will have a gusset and it will look like a book. If it wants to stay. Okay, so you'll have a gusset and it will look like a book. Oh, this side's gone flat. I was like, why does one side look narrower than the other? Okay. Alright, so now we're going to open it up. And to cut extra pages, we're going to cut across here up to the gusset and across here up to the gusset. And that will give us extra pages for our book. And we'll flip it around and do the same thing on this side. Okay. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is ink. I am not going to make you watch me ink. I'm going to put you on hold, and then I will ink everything, and then we will come back, and I think maybe we will do, actually, I'm just going to ink it all and call it a video, and then this will be video 1. So you're going to want to ink your gusset on both sides. You're going to want to ink along here. And then since these are page ones and not flip downs or whatever, we're going to be gluing it together on the gusset. So you want to make sure that you get that inked. Doesn't matter how far over you go, because it's going to be covered with paper, but you do want to make sure that you get enough to cover your 1/8 of an inch border that you're going to have around the paper. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing on the other side, same thing on the inside to the gusset. All right, and then you're going to ink all these edges all the way around on both sides. Okay, and then when we come back in the next video, we will glue this together once it's all been inked, and then we will start on our pages. That will give us some stability as well. Okay? All right. So I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. Okay, bye-bye.